Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani, just by himself at the plate, is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say, keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he could be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just pitched 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I can't even believe I'm saying pitcher's battle and using the words Patrick Corbin. But can I tell you, Scott, he's a different guy. He's a totally different guy with the Rangers than we've seen.
I say this all the time. Don't worry about the first 5 innings. Like, don't even watch the first 5 innings in Texas Ranger games. Because for whatever reason, there's a ton of runs scored in the first 5, and then it just stops. It just stops.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
We welcome you to hour number 3, our third and final live right here on this Wednesday on the early line on SportsGrid. He is Donnie, I am Ben. One more hour to go, but plenty still to preview. We've got an extra full slate around Major League Baseball on this Wednesday. 3 rainouts yesterday in a game at Fenway Park, suspended as well. We've got double headers all over the place, so plenty to break down from the bright baseball mind of Donnie Rightside in just a little bit. We'll check in with our guy Keith Stewart, the John Deere Classic in the Quad Cities this week, a staple in early July, a few weeks away from our final major championship of the year, that being the Open Championship as well across the pond. So we'll break it down with Keith Stewart for this week in Silvis, Illinois, and DRS, the prop perspective from Tom Vecchio and some of his thoughts on the latest updates at NBA free agency to end out this third and final hour.
Yeah, it's a good way to go, man. Kicking off hump day here, getting through the first 2 hours here. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement, waiting for that NFL season. But today we do have a huge card in Major League Baseball that we have to break down and give it to the people because it's what they want, Ben, and we give the people what they want right here on the grid.
Yes, we certainly do, DRS. All right, let's start with a poll from the people as well. You got it? I don't know if you love it, if I'm being honest.
I answered the question, but now Twitter is being a little bit funny. Like, I don't even know what the question, this is going to get a whole new, oh, there we go. I got it back. So now I remember. See that?
Yeah. Twitter's being a little bit funky right now, having some issues. It's popping up. It's popping not. Who necessarily knows? We hope you were able to vote in it. The conversation around LeBron James as NBA free agency continues in the NBA. LeBron James picking up the final year of his player option, $52.6 million for this upcoming season in Los Angeles. Just because he picked up the final year of his deal, does that mean that he plays for the Lakers this season? We think so, but what about you? It's time now for Fade the Public. Which team will LeBron James play for next season? At SportsGrid on Twitter. The question to all of you. The Cavaliers, a homecoming from the Akron Kid. The Los Angeles Lakers, where he currently resides. The New York Knicks, or other. DRS, of those four options, the Lakers kind of winning this poll, and by a large margin at more than 63% of the votes. It is the way I voted. How about you?
I think it just allowed me to vote again here, so maybe I'm doubling down at this point right now and love to see it. But it was the Lakers for me. There's no way, shape, or form that LeBron James is not going to play for the Lakers next season. Now, here's the caveat, though. Did we leave this as an open-ended question, Ben? Which team will LeBron play for next season? Hey, maybe it's the Lakers to start and the Knicks to finish at this point right now, because usually we'll differentiate, like, who does he game number one? Is it the Lakers, or after the trade deadline, or is there a chance that he could play for somebody else next season? So theoretically, you could get multiple teams in this, but it's the Lakers. He's going to retire Laker. That's where it's going to be done. He's not going to ring chase in Orlando in 2 years to try to get a title with Paolo Banchero and the upcoming Orlando Magic. It's the Lakers. That's the right way to put it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I completely agree, DRS. To me, it is the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, when he opted into the final year of his deal, picking up that player option over the weekend, it led to some speculation based on the statement from his agent and best friend, Rich Paul, basically saying we are very appreciative of our 7 years in LA, but LeBron wants to end his career with another opportunity to win an NBA championship. Now, I would argue that LeBron's best chance of winning an NBA championship remains with the Lakers instead of departing for another place and trying to figure out another roster. Why? Because Luka Doncic is also in the purple and gold. And I still consider Luka one of the 3 or 5 best players in the NBA at current juncture. Does he need to get a little bit more in shape? Perhaps. Do the Lakers need a ton elsewhere on the roster? Yeah. Which has made this free agency period a little bit quiet for LA interesting. The only acquisition, Jake LaRavia from the Sacramento Kings on a 2-year, $12 million deal. Miles Turner signs yesterday in Milwaukee. There was some kind of conversation, DRS, that DeAndre Ayton, who was bought out over the weekend by the Blazers, might be going to Milwaukee as well. There is no doubt the Lakers are in desperate need of front court help. Does that mean DeAndre Ayton, in all of his promise, even if unfulfilled, finds his way to LA? The Lakers need that roster around Luka and LeBron. Is Austin Reeves back? Dorian Finney-Smith has already departed to the Houston Rockets. I thought Rich Paul's statement was not a subliminal trade request, but putting some pressure on Rob Pelinka and that Lakers front office to make the moves necessary to have a championship caliber roster around LeBron and Luka. That just in those two guys should be enough to be a contender out west, but you need a few more significant pieces, of course, to be a true championship caliber team.
Exactly. Maybe LeBron's gonna like, hey, you know what? Buy out these 7 guys on this roster and spread those bone cap hits out per se over the next 5 years. Let's bring in some superstars. But I do think LeBron James isn't going anywhere. The team, you should be good enough to compete with Luka and LeBron and a decent supporting cast. It's just a matter of fact is like, again, Father Time does win. LeBron James is really giving him a hell of a run right now. But sooner than later, LeBron's not going to be there for the entirety of a season, averaging 25 points well into his 40s. You have to capitalize now, but maybe that capitalization is just, hey, Luka, I need you this offseason to get in the best shape of your life and absolutely throttle the NBA and win an MVP and carry us, and I'll be your wingman right along, averaging my 25 a game while you be the superstar here. We're not entering in the next season as the Lakers being a formidable contender because we know what we know, and OKC is out there standing in the way, and other teams got better, which the Lakers theoretically have not gotten done. But the question, again, is LeBron James. LeBron James isn't on the move, but here's what I love for, like, legacy purposes. Like, they always talk about, hey, LeBron's got 4, Jordan's got 6. Until you get 6, you can't. What happens to LeBron's like, trade me to OKC for a mid-level exception here. I'll go there and win 3 more championships. I have 7 rings, and now Jordan has 6. He would get panned for that, and rightfully so, because you want to be the champion, and it's your demands of why you're a champion, not because you ring chased on a team where you have a 5th option at this point. But LeBron is going to be a Laker here. We'll see if they can improve that team, but they've always been trying. They did get a championship with AD, but again, AD no longer there. Luka's in town. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we really will, DRS. And it's an interesting conversation, of course, for LeBron James. The longevity is ridiculous. It's year 23. When he steps onto the floor for this 23rd season, he'll surpass Vince Carter for the most ever years played in an NBA career. He's about 40-plus games, I believe, behind Robert Parrish If I'm not mistaken, for the most ever games played in an NBA career, he's the all-time leading scorer.
Yep.
I believe only 3 NBA championships, right? 3? 4? 3?
LeBron, 4.
Joe Frizo?
Who we talking about? Who we talking about? 4.
What?
Yeah.
He's got 2 in Miami, 2 with the Heat, 1 with the Cavs, and 1 with the Lakers.
1 with the Lakers.
4. All
Yes.
right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And
Kev,
so, I do believe, though.
Kill you later. Woof.
Yeah, I know. Don't
Wow.
share that clip. Don't tweet that out.
Wow.
Please,
Don't
please,
clip
please.
this.
I'm in danger. LeBron James, by the way, with Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think that has the makings to be his best spot to contend for a championship. I say that, though, DRS, and I still think Oklahoma City is deserving of being that short favorite out west. And there are teams like the Nuggets, maybe the Rockets, that are in front of the Lakers, which kind of gives the idea that if LeBron were to go to the up-in-the-air Eastern Conference and back to Cleveland, even if it moved around some pieces back to L.A., they would be even the shorter favorite than they are right now. All right, that does it for the NBA conversation. Let's go to our guy, Keith Stewart, and get you ready for the John Deere Classic next.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Live right here on this Wednesday on the Early Line on SportsGrid. Let's get you set for a new week on the PGA Tour. The first weekend in July. It is the John Deere Classic in the Quad Cities. So we welcome in our guy, Keith Stewart, to make sure that you are ready to enjoy the holiday weekend, maybe with some more money in the pocket as you take in the festivities there in Silvis, Illinois. Keith Stewart, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for being here on TEL.
Ben, Donnie, happy 4th of July weekend upcoming. The Tractor Tourney, no better American venue for the PGA Tour this week.
It is really the case each and every year. We look at the John Deere Classic in the Quad Cities, TPC Deer Run. It feels fitting. We'll see those American flags on the pins this week at the John Deere Classic. Let's talk about the venue. A regular stop, Keith, each and every year on the PGA Tour. It has not been an elevated signature event. The field is not overly robust, but again, it is one of those regular occurrences each and every summer on the PGA Tour. What does everybody need to know about the John Deere Classic and TPC Deer Run?
Hey, Ben, you know what? You bring up a good point. Strength of field is not necessarily, a normal characteristic of the John Deere Classic. But I'll tell you this much. Jordan Spieth won here when he was 20. Bryson DeChambeau had his first ever victory here. We had an incredible winner last year in Davis Thompson, who won by 4 shots at 28 under, a young superstar out of Georgia on the PGA Tour. A couple years ago was Sepp Straka. Look what he's done to elevate his career. So, don't go to sleep this weekend. The outdoor barbecue, turn on the TV, throw it on when you walk through the house, or if you have one out there at the tiki bar, celebrate a little bit with the John Deere Classic, because I'm telling you, this golf course with an average winning score of 22 under par over the last 10 years is going to be entertaining.
Fantastic stuff, Keith. Let's get right to some of the Keith's keys this weekend and what we can anticipate for some of these golfers. And it's nice to see that some of the top-level guys aren't there, which means these guys understand this is a championship they can go out and get.
All right, here's what I'm looking for in order to build out my lineups and that betting card, Donnie. The first thing is you got to put it in play off the tee. A lot of people like to compare the Detroit course last week for the Rocket Classic and this one because in both you need 20, subpar scores. You need to get to 20-something under. But the fact of the matter is that the drive is much more demanding here. The second thing is that there's a lot of terrain out there in Silvis, Illinois, where we are, the Quad Cities, right? It's hilly. It's John Deere tractor country, guys. So these guys got to be able to play off uneven lies. I like the guys that are good around the greens because they're generally good off of uneven surfaces. So you put them out in the fairway and the ball's above their feet, below their feet, they tend to be good there too. And the third thing is that, hey, if we're going to 20-plus under par, you've got to be able to putt. Vegas has the line again this week at minus 21.5. That means 22, 6, 27 subpar scores is what you're going to need. The last 10 winners have gained over 6 strokes on average versus the field in the year that they won.
So, Keith, when we look at the odds board now, we'll start at the very top. You're probably not accustomed to seeing Ben Griffin being that betting favorite entering a week on the PGA Tour, but what a 2025 season it has been for Griffin. Already 2 wins, a T14 last week at the Rocket Classic. His last 6 starts, Keith, he's been in the top 15 on the leaderboard by the time Sunday has come around each and every start. So Ben Griffin is the favorite entering this week at the John Deere Classic. Are you buying in?
You know what? I'm not buying in, although I think he will be near the leaderboard at the end of the week. And I mean, here's why. You talk about seeing him on the betting board, right? The guy's played 9 weeks in a row. The only week he took off was the Masters just because he wasn't in the field. He plays every single week. He's been incredibly consistent. He wants to position himself for Bethpage Black and that Ryder Cup team. I mean, he's done an incredible job this year, but as a favorite at plus 1,600, I think there's better value down the board. I mean, all of the favorites. Jason Day, he's only played here once in the last decade. You've got guys like Michael Thorbjornsen. Everyone's all over this kid like they were Davis Thompson last year. They think that, a couple good starts here at the JDC and also at the Rocket makes him a favorite. And then you've got JT Poston, who won here back in 2022. For me, at the top of the board, those favorites, I might look some other places when it comes to the early leans on the early line this morning.
By the way, Keith, let me ask you a quick question, too, because you said that there's a chance that some of these guys could go real low. Is there any market for, the first-round leader? Because Ben Griffin is the favorite at plus 3,500. Who has a chance to get out to a really hot start this week?
This is a great question, Donnie, and there's 2 guys that I'm eyeing that are at huge odds. The first one's Sami Valimaki. He loves to get off the hot starts. And the second one is Andrew Putnam. Putnam's been excellent lately. I mean, he's at 60-1 in most markets, and a guy that's 4th on the PGA Tour in Thursday scoring. Putnam with the putter and around the greens, he's a scoring machine.
So, Keith, we see his name right there, Davis Thompson, who you mentioned a lot of people high on last year, 33-1, the reigning champ of the John Deere Classic. Last week's winner in a dramatic playoff at the Rocket Classic in Motown, Aldrich Potgieter getting his first career win, only 20 years old. The young stars have played well at TPC Deere Run. It is time now, without further ado, for the early leans on the early line at the John Deere Classic. Keith, who has a good week out there in the Quad Cities?
Hey, the John Deere tractors, they like to play in the dirt, so I'm going with my man Dirty Denny McCarthy, right? In the last three trips there, he's got a sixth, and a seventh, boys. At plus 2,500 this morning on the FanDuel board. I mean, he's gaining an average of 10 strokes on the field in those last three starts here, right? Three top 7 finishes. Incredible. He was 12th at the Travelers very quietly. And here's a guy, he's a scrambler. He's a scorer from close range. He knows how to play this place. He will be up there come Sunday afternoon. And the second guy, New Jersey kid, Chris Gotterup, plus 3,500 this morning at FanDuel. He started the week on Monday at plus 4,500. So I'm not the only person who thinks this way. In 2022, he played here fresh out of college, tied 4th, right? He's number 1 in the field in strokes gained off the tee. I said you had to hit the fairway. How about hitting the fairway and hitting it deep? He can do that, right? Approach and off the tee. He has been gaining positively in his last 5 starts. The kid is having one of the best stretches in his young PGA Tour career, and he's won before, Ben. So you know what? The unproven guys, Gotterup's done it.
Chris Gotterup, your family, your religion, and Rutgers golf this week in the Quad Cities. Keith Stewart, as always, thank you. More on the early line next.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course and okay, safe, right?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A very full slate around Major League Baseball on this Wednesday. It was supposed to be the case yesterday, but we had 3 rainouts due to some bad weather here in the Northeast in a game that started in Boston between the Red Sox and the Reds that was suspended after only 3 frames. A lot to get you caught up on. We'll do that in just a moment. But last night, DRS, the LA Dodgers, as we expected, greater than a $3 favorite, got a great start from Yoshi Yamamoto. Shohei Ohtani hit his 30th home run for a 5th consecutive season, and the Dodgers beat the White Sox 6-1. Understandable. That's what we expected. Best record in baseball now. LA at 54-32. They have won 14 of their last 17. But today, a matchup against the White Sox might come with some history. The Dodgers, once again, greater than a $3 favorite. The total is 9.5 against the White Sox. And who gets the start? Clayton Kershaw on Clay Day. Clayton Kershaw, just 3 strikeouts away from becoming the 20th ever pitcher to reach 20,000 career strikeouts, if I am not mistaken. His K prop today, by the way, is for 3,000 career strikeouts, not 20,000. 20th ever pitcher to reach 3,000 career strikeouts. Still history at stake today, though, for Kersh. His K prop is 4.5. Do you think he gets there and makes some history tonight, DRS? And will it result in a large LA win once again?
Yeah, LA's going to win again tonight. Why? Because you just look at that White Sox lineup, woeful 1 through 9 for the most part. Starting pitchers questionable tonight. They are going to have a opener here in Brandon Eisert, and then he's going to give way to Burke, who's not a great pitcher here. And the Dodgers should be on their merry way. Hit their team total last night, scoring 6 runs. They're probably going to do that once again tonight. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Pages, Edman, all really good weighted on base percentages against lefty and righty pitchers here. So that shouldn't stop. But the focus, you're right, is going to be on Clayton Kershaw. It's not will they win this game. I think they win it going away, and that price point tells you, as being such a heavy favorite, they should be able to do that. And sometimes, you have the stars, right? Like, do you want this to wait another start? Like, this is right in your grasp. Like, hey, Ben, if he gets 13 strikeouts tonight, he hits that level. Like, no, very manageable. He'll get this here. Celebration. And where would you like to do this? Oh, it'd be awesome if I did it in Milwaukee. No. Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine, celebrated tonight. Kershaw should be able to get those Ks. And maybe even from a management position, let's just say this game is close into the 5th or 6th inning. Hey, Kershaw's getting up there. He's 1 strikeout away. Are they taking him out of this lineup? No, they're not. They win against an underhanded Chicago White Sox team, and they'll try to get that statistic here for Clayton Kershaw. He should get the strikeout tonight because why? He might get an extra 2 or 3 batters to get it done, whereas he might get pulled out previously.
One of the greats to ever do it in the last 2 decades in Major League Baseball. It is year number 18 for Clayton Kershaw. Each and every one of them spent in Los Angeles at Chavez Ravine. And as of late, DRS, even as that vet in year number 18, he has won his last 4 outings in which he has allowed just a total of 4 earned in those last 4 starts. Now a 4-0 record with a 3.03 ERA. You can bet on Clayton Kershaw in this start in his chase of 3K. Again, that K prop is 4.5. To get them all in the opening inning, 3+ strikeouts in the first inning. I like 3+ because technically a drop strike could lead to a 4th batter. Anyway, 12-1 to go 3 up, 3 down. And even money +100 price against the Southsiders tonight. I do believe we see history. That K prop 4.5. And Kersh can even go under and just need 3 strikeouts to get to 3,000 career Ks to become the 20th ever pitcher in Major League Baseball history to pull that off. DRS, plenty of doubleheaders on this Wednesday slate around the bigs. We had rainouts in Philadelphia, rainouts in New York for the Mets in their opening part of their series against those Brewers. And elsewhere yesterday, let me just make sure, in Washington as well, between the Nats and the Tigers, and of course the Sox and the Reds, suspended after 3 innings. The second part of that game, the resumption, comes our way at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Plenty more to break down on the other side of the break. But when it comes to betting doubleheaders, DRS, what's your philosophy?
Usually stay away from game number 2 early in the day, and depending on what happens, because you can also see if a team uses some key closers, maybe a setup guy in the 8th and the 9th inning to win game number 1, they won't be active for game number 2. Those are the meaningful tidbits of information that you can have. By the way, 19 games on the card today. Is that what I'm saying? Like, imagine a professional sports league with 19 total games on the card. That's unbelievable, man. A smorgasbord of baseball today.
And from the brilliant baseball mind, we keep breaking it down next.
Incredible run here for Suarez, but realistically speaking, Corbin Burns out. Corbin Carroll is out right now. This is not a contending team, especially in that division where you've got the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants. It's just too much to bear. The Diamondbacks would be smart to let Jordan Lawler play every day, see what he is, and then probably move on from Suarez.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
And there's this one guy that's popping for me. It's like Tillinghast, Bomber's Paradise, Get Hot with the Putter, Northeast New York Horse. Like, I know a guy that fits that profile pretty well that won a pretty big tournament at Wingfoot. Like, this is this like perfect for Bryson?
It's perfect for Bryson.
Wow. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe that SJ now is the #1 player in the world. The things that he can do from the point of attack, offensively and defensively, his ability to drive downhill and score at all three levels. And the thing about I like most about this young man at 26, he's so humble. He's so humble. And that speaks to the whole culture of OKC that Sam Presti and Mark Daigneault has built. Humble team, folks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We have 18 2/3, I think you could say, games on the MLB slate on this Wednesday, because we are 3 innings into a game that was suspended last night in Fenway between the Red Sox and the Reds. But technically it will be a resumed doubleheader, so a doubleheader in 4 spots. In Boston, in D.C., between the Nationals and the Tigers, at Citi Field between the Mets and the Brewers to start that midweek set, as we'll break down in the final 2 games on this Wednesday of our 3-game midweek set between the Padres and the Phils. Way back on Monday night now, Zach Wheeler, yet another gem. The Phillies blanked San Diego 4-zip. Yesterday, DRS, we thought it was going to be Christopher Sanchez against Nick Pivetta.
Yeah.
Today, in the opening game of the doubleheader, it is still pitching Pivetta for San Diego, but now against the Rook, Mick Abel on the other side for the fighting. San Diego, an ever so slight favorite in the updated odds from that pick'em price here on FanDuel. And in the second game, it's Dylan Cease and Christopher Sanchez, where Philadelphia is a favorite at home. What do you expect in the 2 games to be played today at the bank?
Yeah, Mick Abel, that's going to be an interesting one, because we're going to have heat and humidity in the conditions here at 1 o'clock, mid-80s, light wind blowing out to right field. But understand this, like, Nick Pivetta is a pretty good pitcher. We've taken a look at him a few times this season already. But just looking over the numbers per se, it's not just like, hey, this guy's better than the other one. Here's the interesting part about Mick Abel. Had a couple really good starts to his career, sort of flat-lined, but then also you had one of those games in Atlanta where he warmed up before the game. The rain delay came in and didn't play in that game. That was the 13-0 Phillies victory over the Atlanta Braves. So skipped a couple starts. Now he's back in. The trustability, right? I always like to use that word. 96 batters he's faced on the season, which isn't a lot, Ben. lefties have absolutely blown him away. A 385 ISO and a 409 weighted on base percentage. If you just zero that into his last 44 batters, it ups to a 488 ISO and a 471 weighted on base percentage. Arise, Merrill, Sheets, Cronenworth, Johnson, probably really good looks. Game number 2 different because, again, we talked about what do you like to see out of double headers. The second game is always so tough because you don't know how the first game plays out. 2 different separate entities that you have to look at. But I got to tell you, like, the Phillies are playing better baseball. The Padres don't have a great offense, but there's a chance that the Padres can kick this in game number 1, and I think there's a good chance that happens. Do I want to take the Padres basically as a pick 'em or a slight favorite? Not necessarily, but as I told you, look for those left-handed batters to be able to do damage in this afternoon game against Mick Abel. That's the way I'd play this one out.
It's one of the interesting things, DRS, the even CA line posted for the second game of a doubleheader, because you have no idea what that lineup is going to look like after starting that game. Sure, you might have the pitching matchup set, but so many other factors could contribute to what happens later in the day. One of our 3 spots for a doubleheader, technically one of our 4 around MLB today, also up at Citi Field. We were saying how the Mets were so excited to flip the calendar to July after losing 13 of their last 16 games for a once proud organization in the month of June in that month. Maybe time to bring Grimace back for the Amazons. Today, they're hoping to get off to a good start in July with a doubleheader set against the Milwaukee Brewers. It's Clay Holmes against Freddie Peralta in the opener. The New York Mets around a -132 favorite. In game number 2, though, we don't expect to see New York favored as Jacob Mizorowski gets the start for the Brew Crew. Milwaukee great in June, 16-9. The Mets not great in the month of June. How does July start for both of these teams in the doubleheader today?
You know, so usually when you're like a hot baseball team, you see the doubleheader. It's like, I don't know about that, because usually we have the better pitcher on the mound, the better lineup. We'll let it play out. We're playing good baseball. But so many times that you take a look at even really good baseball teams, really bad baseball teams, the expectations of a doubleheader is a split. And the New York Mets, if you tell them before these games are going to start, Ben, they're getting a split, boy, that feels like a big win for them. Like, okay, at least we got one of these. We move on to tomorrow, and away we go. The worst case scenario would be in game number 1 if Freddie Peralta outduels Holmes in that one. Say, oh no, because now you have Mizorowski in the second game, who again is a young starter, but he's been really good in his limited innings in Major League Baseball. And then the Mets are like, all right, we lost game 1, bullpen game number 2. You lose both of those, then it's like panic is falling in the streets once again in New York. But you have to feel good about a doubleheader at home. You should get at least 1. But I got to tell you, it feels like the Mets better get game number 1 in this one, Ben, to have success and say, well, at least we got the first game and we'll see what happens in game number 2.
Yeah, you really better hope that, DRS, to try to turn this momentum around right away with what feels like a fresh start. Yesterday rained out. Supposed to be pretty nice, albeit humid here in the New York City area on this Wednesday. Our other doubleheader of 2 full games in D.C., the Nationals and the Tigers. Because Detroit did not play yesterday and the Dodgers did and picked up a win, technically the Tigers a half game behind L.A. now for what is that best mark in MLB. The Tigers favored ever so slightly in both, including what should be a great pitching matchup in the second of 2 games tonight in D.C. Jack Flaherty for Detroit against Washington's Mackenzie Gore. The Red Sox up 2-1 after 3 innings, suspended yesterday in their second game of their midweek set against the Reds. And there will be another one tonight between Boston and Cincy as well. DRS, the Atlanta Braves, still trying to make up some ground around the National League. Now the 4th best record in the NL East out of 5 teams, because the Marlins have won 8 straight and the Braves have dropped 2 in a row. They're 8 games sub 500. But some good news for Atlanta. Jurickson Profar on his way back. Is this his Braves debut after starting his career in San Diego, serving that 80-game suspension for It's not. It is not. He started this year in Atlanta.
Suspended,
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. We are past the midway point, and Atlanta has played 84 games this season so far. Last night, the RS, they got planked at home in the A by the Angels. It was tied 0-0 entering the top of the 8th. The Halos scored all 4 of the runs in the game in the top half of that inning. What are we going to see today in Atlanta between the Braves and the Angels?
You know it's my favorite game of the day because why?
No,
we had
forgot
one
about it.
Diddy guilty early in the morning, another Diddy's going to be guilty later tonight, and that's Diddy Fuentes out there on the mound. My man's not cut out for Major League Baseball at this point. Yes, you can. The Angels are going to win this game. Look at the current season right now of what damage they've been able to do. We're talking about the Angels. We have got 6 and 7 guys positive ISO and weighted on base percentages going against Diddy. Going to be a party in Atlanta tonight, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Just saying,
It's 9.5 is that total.
It would look funny on my table.
The guy's name is Didier Fuentes, who is the starter today for Atlanta. Last week was bad enough when you said it's a Diddy party against, was it the Braves and the Mets at that time when you predicted New York to snap their 5-game skid against the Braves? It was bad enough to call it a Diddy party. To implicate the guy as guilty after what is happening now in the legal system in the Diddy trial is crazy work, man. Crazy wording out of you.
The only way you can go, though. Look, sometimes the sporting gods and karma's like, you know what? What a perfect day. Diddy's on trial. Diddy's on the mound. Same day. It can all happen. The Big A is the place to be tonight. Come on now. Let's go.
Again, just so we know, DRS might be the only guy
His
that
name
calls
is
him
Ben
Didier Fuentes.
Yeah, come on. What? You know, we all get names. Like this guy with Didier Fuentes. Like, come on, man. I can't say that guy's name. That's Diddy. Diddy Fuentes is out there on the mound tonight. Come on. Don't be confused.
Yeah,
don't get caught up here. Don't bet on the wrong guy. Make sure you're betting Didier Fuentes, not other guys. So
listen, for the young 20-year-old in his 2 starts this year for Atlanta, it has not been great, right? He is 0-2 with a 10.8 ERA. He has allowed 10
Slippery
total
slope,
earned
man.
runs.
Slippery slope.
Come on.
Just saying, man.
Jesus.
Slippery slope.
Yeah.
This game will be over before midnight, where the true demons come out. You know what I mean? We can go right there. Let's go, man. Let's go.
That's a good sign. Again, we'll see how much offense
Keeping it
happens
current.
tonight. I might have partaken in the joke in the bit last week, as I believe who
that a
had
joke
multiple
right
home
there?
runs. Was it Juan Soto? Calling him the Punisher.
Yes.
We'll see if anybody can step up to that
Trout.
for the Halos tonight
plays that
in
role
the A.
tonight.
Tom Vecchio, save us, man. He's here next.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet 2 or 3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The early line only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter or this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today only on SportsGrid.
Live right here on this Wednesday on the early line on SportsGrid. We need TV, Tom Vecchio of SportsGrid more now than perhaps ever to get this show back on track. In case you were wondering, that continued into the commercial break. So, Vecchio, as we get ready here for NBA free agency into its third day and a huge day of Major League Baseball to break down together with the two hosts, Pro Baseball Today to my left. We are excited to have you here as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Quite an interesting start to the segment, the previous or end to the previous segment. Like you said, there's a million baseball games today just because there were so many rainouts yesterday. Some NBA free agency reactions. Let's try to keep things on track. No puns, just all context.
Don't be the grown up. Don't come in here and be a grown up. Come on now. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You haven't worked with Donnie long enough on PBT to expect him to not make any puns. Now. Yeah, he's going to bring the heat right now, Mr. Vecchio. All right, let's first focus on free agency. Day number 2 yesterday, it may be our first big splash, our first big surprise. You could argue the first critical move of this NBA summer in free agency. Miles Turner is leaving Indiana after a decade as the longest tenured Pacer in signing with the Milwaukee Bucks. A 4-year, $107 million deal. We'll get to the Damian Lillard component of this to clear the cap space and the financial flexibility necessary to sign Miles Turner. But just to see Turner leave Indianapolis and now head to Milwaukee, Vecchio, how surprised were you yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, I was decently surprised. Immediately my mind went to, what was the domino effect? Like, theoretically, if Halliburton didn't get hurt and, even if they lose that game, like, I think Turner is still on the Pacers. But, I'm trying to then think back of, there were rumors of the Pacers trying to trade him for years. And a number of years ago, there was the point where the Pacers actually signed DeAndre Ayton and then his offer sheet was matched. So, subconsciously, the Pacers were trying to get rid of Miles Turner or were willing to trade him at a number of different points over the past however many years. So to see a player like that leave isn't surprising to say, okay, a team didn't want me, I'm just going to go sign somewhere else because they were trying to trade me. But to see him leave after what the Pacers did this season, that's a little bit surprising. Also, to see him go to a direct, rival of them is obviously very interesting. I think the Bucks need to continue to make more moves. It's a good first move, but a lot more needs to be done.
Yeah, the interesting part about this, too, is, the rhyme and reason for things. We always have to understand it is a business. And Indiana was like, okay, if we sign this guy for a little bit more money, we're going to go into the luxury tax we want to try to avoid. And also made it maybe a little bit easier with Tyrese Halliburton, who's no longer going to be there possibly for this season, to say, we're not going to go in the tax for a season that we might not win it. Now you lose a guy to a competitor. It is what it is. But also the dominoes, Tom Vecchio, that fall from this, right? Like the ability of why he was able to go to Milwaukee, an interesting move for the Bucks to say, yeah, Dame Lillard signed for 2 more years. We're going to buy him out and extend that so we can afford to bring in a Miles Turner. What do you think about that move and the ramifications for Dame Lillard now as a free agent and what it means for the Milwaukee Bucks as well?
So on the Dame side of things, it's just really just a wait and see. He was going to play this year anyway, and wherever he ends up signing, good for them. I assume he'll take less money to go to a competitor. That's yet to be seen. From the Bucks side of things, that second thing that happened is we got the report that Giannis is unhappy that they let Dame go. So when I'm looking at the projected starting lineup for the Bucks, Kevin Porter and Gary Trent as the starting guards, that is unacceptable. That is not a playoff team. So if Giannis is unhappy and the guards are just not good when it comes to Milwaukee, Kuzma, Antetokounmpo, and Turner, I think are solid as a 3-4-5. Prince and Portis, coming off the bench. If Giannis is unhappy and we have these subpar guards, you have to go out and make another move to get a guard that will at least keep Antetokounmpo happy and push them into the playoffs. So Dame's not there. He's unhappy. Bucks ownership and front office make more moves.
Giannis should be pleased with the front court pairing alongside Miles Turner, but Vecchio is correct. The backcourt right now inside the Pfizer Forum looks a little bit bleak. Just so we know, Dame was not going to play this year more than likely anyway after suffering that ruptured Achilles tendon in the opening round of the NBA postseason. Again, ironically enough, the Indiana Pacers, who even more ironically are the team that has ousted Milwaukee in the first round of the NBA postseason each of the previous 2 years. So Miles Turner is there. Dame waived, and the final $113 million stretched out over 5 years. We expect maybe one more wrinkle for the Bucs. It's not like they have a ton of financial freedom to go out and acquire a big name by any means. Vecchio, what's your outlook then for Milwaukee? 95-1 to win the NBA championship at the end of the draft last week after all of these moves yesterday and the addition of Miles Turner, now 65-1. But still relatively long odds. 8th best price to win the up-in-the-air Eastern Conference. Do you consider the Bucs, with Giannis and Miles Turner, a true contender out east?
I'm not sure if I can consider them a contender, but at 21-1 to win the East, I think it's at least interesting. And one of the points that Kevin Walsh and I very clearly agree on is Giannis is the best player in the Eastern Conference. You look to the Cavs, I think their price is fine, but they need to stay healthy. The Knicks are insane. They don't have a head coach, and the Knicks haven't gotten substantially better. The Magic price is insane to bet on them at 4-1. The Hawks, I think the Hawks have made some really solid moves. They've had a great offseason. But at 10-1, I don't want to bet on the Hawks. If you have a ticket from the Hawks prior to the moves, that's great, but we missed the boat. Don't want to bet on the Celtics. The 76ers may be interesting, but where the Bucs sit, they're going to be a top 5 seed, and at 21-1 to win the East is interesting, not to win the NBA Finals.
And the Indiana Pacers just right behind Milwaukee now at 23-1. Again, Miles Turner spent the entirety of his decade in the NBA after being drafted 11th overall back in 2015 in Indiana. No longer the longest tenured Pacer. That's now TJ McConnell. The further ramifications of the Tyrese Halliburton injury, not being able to win an NBA championship, losing in Game 7, missing Hallie for the entirety of this upcoming season. And now, because they didn't really want to delve into the luxury tax, losing out on Miles Turner. All right, Donnie, right side. Who's with you on Moneyline today? Anybody?
I don't know. So expect a lot of Atlanta Braves pitching prospects to be mentioned over the next hour. And how we can make money off those said prospects, people. So here we go. Ready to go.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I think certain verdicts as well will be read off. Thank you, DRS. Talk to you tomorrow. More with Vecchio next.
Run here for Suarez, but realistically speaking, Corbin Burns out, Corbin Carroll is out right now. This is not a contending team, especially in that division where you've got the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants. It's just too much to bear. The Diamondbacks would be smart to let Jordan Lawler play every day, see what he is, and then probably move on from Suarez.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
And there's this one guy that's popping for me. It's like Tillinghast, Bomber's Paradise, Get Hot with the Putter, Northeast New York Horse. Like, I know a guy that fits that profile pretty well that won a pretty big tournament at Wingfoot. Like, this is this like perfect for Bryson?
It's perfect for Bryson.
Wow.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe that SJ now is the #1 player in the world. The things that he can do from the point of attack, offensively and defensively, his ability to drive downhill and score at all 3 levels. And the thing I like most about this young man at 26, he's so humble. He's so humble. And that speaks to the whole culture of OKC that Sam Presti and Mark Daigneault has built. Humble team, folks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
One final point on the NBA championship odds with TV Tom Vecchio of SportsGrid before we look at a 18 and 2/3 game slate around Major League Baseball on this Wednesday. Very robust, very full. All right, Vecchio, as we look at those NBA title odds, right here, right now, about to approach our third day of NBA free agency. We've seen big trades. We've seen large free agency signings and some that might move the needle, but maybe not a superstar or even a starter added to a roster. As you look at the NBA championship odds, the reigning champs, the Thunder, a drastically short price, which presents then some value just in the nature of handicapping on the 29 other teams in the association. To you right now, where would be a buy-in spot on a team around the league?
I want to say the Nuggets, but I also want to say if you had the Nuggets, at better than 10-1 before they made some of these moves, before some of the other moves around the conference. I think bringing in Cam Johnson is a really nice move for them. Michael Porter Jr.'s name has been involved in trade rumors dating back throughout the beginning portion of the season. There were links to him and the Nuggets potentially getting Zach LaVine from Chicago before he was traded. So I don't mind the Nuggets at 9-1. I'm going to continue to say I do like the Timberwolves at 17-1. And again, bolster the scoring outside of Ant, and I think they will be in a spot. And really, we're going to have this conversation a lot throughout the year. It's always going to come down to seeding for me. If we can get the Nuggets on the other side of the bracket compared to the Thunder, sign me up for that.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the Western Conference plays out with all of the expectation on OKC. And of course, the Eastern Conference uncertain, up in the air right now. Who emerges as that true frontrunner later this offseason into early 2025-26. All right, Vecchio, let's go around Major League Baseball. We've got a full slate on this Wednesday. 15 games, 18 and 2/3. We've got 4 doubleheaders today, 3 innings yesterday in Boston between the Red Sox and the Reds. That game suspended. It will be resumed today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then a doubleheader after it. Doubleheaders in Queens at Citi Field between the Mets and the Brewers. In the nation's capital between the Nats and the Tigers. And in Philadelphia between the Phils and the Padres as well. Of those doubleheader sites, which intrigues you the most?
Really comes down to, I would say, the Brewers and the Mets to start. Generally, my approach to doubleheaders is if Team A wins the game 1, I'll probably just be on Team B to win game 2. And obviously, this is said with we have to take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not betting on if the White Sox were in a doubleheader or the Rockies. I'm not just simply betting on them blindly to win the second game. So the Brewers are a good team. The Mets are also struggling. So if we get a decent price on for the Brewers for game 1, they're sitting at, plus 116. We'll probably have some plus 112, whatever it is now. We'll have some good odds on them in the second game as well. And we also deal with a depleted bullpen and or a depleted lineup, and Mizorowski is starting game 2 for the Brewers. So you give me him against a struggling Mets lineup at minus 120 right now. That's where I'll be in on that.
Yeah, Jacob Mizorowski has been great in this rookie season, is the odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year in the National League. Yeah, Big Miz could be taking down the Mets, who are hopeful now that in July, that calendar brings some optimism. They ended out June 3-13. The Brewers in the entirety of the month, really solid 16-9. Let's go to another NL Central matchup today, Vecchio, with all of these doubleheaders and then just some scheduled day baseball before travel days on Thursday. We've got the Pirates and the Cardinals inside PNC Park. Minus 126, the price in favor of the Redbirds. Total at 7.5. What's your play today in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, let's keep it really simple with Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts. And I know he's coming off of this massive performance with 11 strikeouts, and more impressive of that is 89 total pitches. Is crazy to have that few pitches and 11 strikeouts. He obviously went to 9 innings, the one-hitter against the Guardians at the end of last week. But I like him over 5.5 strikeouts. The Pirates coming with a 22.2% strikeout rate versus righties. That's the 9th worst in the league. And Sonny Gray, I don't want to have recency bias in a positive sense considering what he just did, but he still has a nearly 27% strikeout rate on the season. So even if he had 5 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, went 4 innings, 5 innings against the Guardians last week, this is still objectively a good spot against the lineup that has been all over the place. They scored 1 million runs against the Mets. Oh, the scheme starts yesterday. Surprise, surprise, they can't score again. Yeah. It's just a good spot for Sonny Gray today.
They did win, that being the Buccos, their fifth consecutive. Henry Davis, a sac fly in the eighth, the only run of the game. Pittsburgh victorious 1-0. Skeens 5 innings of shutout baseball, but did only record a no decision. Tom Vecchio, thank you as always. The early line returns tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, here on SportsGrid.